All right, ready to dive deep into graphic design interviews.
Oh, yeah, we're going way beyond the usual research the company stuff today.
Exactly. Think of this as your secret weapon for totally acing that interview.
We've got some incredible resources from RoleCatcher, like actual interview questions.
And even a peek at how their AI can help you tailor your responses.
Ready to tackle some of those tough questions head on.
Absolutely. Let's start with a classic. Walk me through your design process.
That one sounds simple, but it can be tricky.
Yeah, I bet there's more to it than just listing the steps,
You're right, a lot of people fall into that trap.
just reciting the steps like a recipe.
Exactly. The interviewer wants to see how you think.
Not just what software you use.
How do you actually go from a blank page to a finished design?
So instead of saying, I brainstorm, then sketch, then go digital, I should actually explain those steps.
Yes. Talk about how you approach each stage.
Like how I brainstorm, what my sketching process looks like.
How you make decisions when you're designing digitally.
Got it. So paint a picture of my unique process.
And highlight your creativity and problem-solving skills.
This is where RoleCatcher's AI comes in handy, right?
Absolutely. It analyzes the job description and suggests what to highlight.
Wow, so it can tailor my answers to what the employer's looking for.
It can also give you feedback on your responses.
That's incredible. So I've explained my process, shown my creative thinking, and I'm feeling good. But what about follow-up questions?
Oh, there will definitely be follow-up questions.
Like what kind of curveballs should I be ready for?
Be prepared to discuss your favorite software for sure.
Okay, makes sense.
Also, how you deal with creative blocks.
How do you overcome those moments when you're just stuck?
Exactly.
Anything else?
How you incorporate client feedback.
That's a crucial one.
And even how you make sure your designs are accessible.
Accessibility is so important these days.
It shows you're thinking about everyone who might interact with your designs.
So walk me through your process is just the tip of the iceberg.
It's the starting point for a deeper conversation.
All right, on to the next question from RoleCatcher's database.
Let's see, this one says, can you show me a recent project and explain your design choices?
The portfolio piece. Do I just pick something that looks impressive?
It's tempting, but not quite.
I need to be more strategic about it.
Choose a project that aligns with the specific role.
Okay, so tailor it to what they're looking for.
And remember, it's not just about showing the final product.
It's about explaining why I made those choices.
Exactly. Why that font, that color palette, those images.
So instead of saying, I used this font because I liked it,
You should be ready to explain why it was the right choice for that project.
like how it fits the target audience or the overall message.
Exactly. Demonstrate your understanding of design principles.
And be prepared for follow-up questions, too.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely dig deeper.
Like, what challenges did you face?
How did you incorporate feedback?
What would you do differently now?
They want to see that you've thought critically about your work.
And that I can articulate my decisions clearly.
And maybe even that I can learn from my past experiences.
Again, RoleCatcher's AI can help here, right?
Absolutely. It can suggest which projects to showcase.
Based on the skills and experience the employer is seeking.
This AI is sounding more and more essential for interview prep.
2 questions down, feeling more confident already.
Let's keep the momentum going.
What's next on our list?
How about this one? How do you stay up to date with design trends and technology?
Uh-oh. I have a feeling scrolling Instagram won't cut it here.
You're absolutely right.
They want to see real engagement with the design world.
How do you actively expand your knowledge?
So, what are some good examples? How can I show I'm staying current?
Attending industry events is a great way.
Like conferences, workshops, even local meetups.
It shows you're plugged into the design community.
What about following design blogs and publications?
Absolutely. Mention specific ones you admire.
That shows I'm keeping up with trends and thought leaders. What about online learning platforms? There are so many courses and resources these days.
Absolutely. It shows initiative and a commitment to learning.
And online design communities, too.
Yes. Participating in forums or groups exposes you to new perspectives.
So it's not just about passively consuming information
It's about actively seeking out new knowledge.
and being able to talk about specific software or tools
New technologies you've experimented with.
and how I've incorporated those into my work.
Stay up to date is another one of those questions that sounds simple but has a lot of depth to it.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already. What other challenging questions can we tackle before we wrap up this part of the deep dive?
Okay, let's dive into a question that can be a bit of a minefield.
Oh, sounds tricky. What is it?
Have you ever worked on a project with a difficult client, and how did you handle it?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's had that client.
Right. but they want to hear about your problem-solving skills.
without sounding like you're blaming the client.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
So how do we talk about this without bad-mouthing anyone?
Focus on the process, not the personality.
Okay, so keep it neutral.
Describe the situation, but don't name names or reveal confidential information.
Got it. So instead of saying, this one client was a micromanager who drove me crazy,
You'd say something like, I've worked with clients who had very specific visions and a hands-on approach.
much more diplomatic.
Then walk them through your strategy.
How I handled the situation.
Did you listen to their concerns?
Try to understand their perspective.
Did you communicate your design rationale clearly?
And offer alternative solutions.
It's about showing you can navigate those tricky interpersonal dynamics.
While still delivering a successful project.
Exactly. This actually reminds me of something we talked about earlier.
From RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Yes, the importance of reading comprehension.
Sometimes a difficult client just needs you to really understand them.
Absolutely. Okay, ready for the next question?
Bring on. What is it?
How do you approach collaborating with other designers or team members?
This one feels a bit less stressful.
It should. It's all about teamwork.
Graphic design is rarely a solo effort these days.
So they want to know you can play well with others.
What kind of things should I highlight?
Your communication style, for one.
Okay. Being a good listener.
Clearly communicating my ideas.
Being open to different perspectives.
Exactly. And don't forget about those project management and communication tools.
Like Slack or Asana.
Yes. Mentioning those shows you're comfortable using technology to collaborate.
And having specific examples always helps.
Of course. Talk about a time you brainstormed with other designers.
Or how I incorporated feedback from developers or marketers.
Right. Show you can contribute positively to a team.
And that I understand how different roles come together to create a successful project.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you tailor your answer here too.
Really? How so?
It can analyze those job descriptions to identify which soft skills are most important.
Interesting. So it tells me what they're really looking for.
And it can even give you feedback on how to better demonstrate those skills in your answers.
This AI is like having a secret weapon for interview prep.
It can give you a real edge.
Okay, so we've talked about difficult clients and collaboration. What's next?
Get ready to flex your creative problem-solving muscles with this one.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to think creatively to solve a design problem?
Ooh, I love a good challenge.
Choose a project where you faced a genuine obstacle,
It could be a technical limitation,
a tight deadline, a demanding client request.
or even just a creative block.
The key is to show how you tackled it with creative thinking.
So should I walk them through my process?
Yes.
Hmm.
Explain how you defined the problem
Explore different approaches.
and ultimately arrived at the solution.
Don't be afraid to show a little vulnerability too, right?
Absolutely. Saying, I got stuck, but then I tried this.
Or I had to start over completely.
It shows persistence and adaptability.
That I can think outside the box when faced with a challenge.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help tailor your answer here as well.
It seems like it can help with just about everything.
It can analyze the job description and suggest relevant challenges or skills to highlight.
Amazing. Okay, let's keep this momentum going.
Ready for another curveball?
Hit me with it.
Can you describe your experience with UX/UI design?
Okay, for those who aren't familiar, UX is user experience and UI is user interface.
Right. UX is about how people experience a product, and UI is the interface they interact with.
So buttons, menus, screens, that sort of thing.
This question is all about how those two disciplines work together.
To create intuitive and engaging designs.
What if you don't have a ton of direct UX/UI experience, though?
That's a good question. I've dabbled in it, but it's not my main focus. Should I just avoid talking about projects that weren't specifically UX/UI?
Not at all. Even if you're not an expert, you can still show you understand the principles.
Okay, so think about projects where I considered the user's needs.
And try to create intuitive and enjoyable experiences.
Like a website with clear navigation and user-friendly layouts.
Exactly, even if it wasn't explicitly a UX/UI project.
What about personal projects or research in the field?
Definitely mention those.
And if I'm totally new to UX/UI,
Express your interest and willingness to learn.
like I've been reading up on UX/UI principles and I'm fascinated by how they can enhance the user experience.
That's a great way to show you're aware of its importance.
Okay, so we've covered tricky clients, collaboration, and UX/UI. What else do we need to know to ace this interview?
All right, let's jump into another question you might encounter.
Okay, what do you have for me?
Imagine the interviewer asks, How do you approach designing for different platforms and devices?
Ah, that's a good one.
It's super relevant these days with everyone using different devices.
Yeah, a design might need to work on a phone, a desktop, even a smartwatch.
They want to see if you understand how to adapt to those different contexts.
It's more than just making it fit on different screen sizes.
Right. You need
Yeah.
to think about how people use each device.
And tailor the design accordingly.
Someone scrolling on their phone is in a different mindset than someone browsing on their desktop.
So how can I showcase that adaptability?
Having some solid examples is key.
Like maybe talk about a website I designed that's responsive.
Perfect example. You could also mention a social media campaign that used different image formats for each platform.
Oh, or even a project where I designed for both print and digital.
Exactly. It shows you're thinking about how the user will interact with the design in different ways.
And if I use any specific software or tools for multi-platform design, I should mention those too.
Absolutely. It shows you're proactive and using the right resources. All right, ready for our final question from RoleCatcher's database?
Hit me with it.
This one's all about a company's visual identity. Can you describe your experience with branding and identity design?
Branding is so crucial for any company.
It's about capturing their personality and values visually.
And creating something that resonates with their audience.
With this question, they want to know if you grasp those core principles.
Like logo design, color palettes, typography, and overall visual style.
It all comes together to create a cohesive and memorable brand.
So if I've designed a brand identity from scratch, that's a great example to share.
Absolutely. Walk them through your process, from research to final design.
But what if I haven't led a full branding project?
You can still demonstrate your understanding of branding principles.
Like maybe I helped refresh an existing brand.
Or designed marketing materials that adhered to a style guide.
The key is to show that I understand the power of branding.
How it can build recognition and trust for a company.
And ultimately drive business growth. Well, I think we've covered a ton of ground today.
We've gone deep into some really challenging interview questions.
And armed our listeners with strategies to tackle them head on.
We even explored how RoleCatcher's AI can help you prepare.
It's like having a personalized interview coach right at your fingertips.
Remember, though, the most important thing is your own curiosity and willingness to learn.
The design world is always changing.
And the best designers are the ones who keep evolving.
So as you head into that interview, showcase your passion and creativity.
Your problem-solving skills and your eagerness to learn.
Good luck, and may your design journey be filled with inspiration and success.